Hey, live on Facebook now as well. Happy Monday. I hope you had a restful weekend. I hope you stayed home as much as possible. We obviously did. As I said on my update on Saturday, I did have to go out to restock our fridge and get some veggies and produce and things that we were running out of. But that was it. I went out and I came back, and we've been inside since. Couple of unfortunate events over the weekend. We heard from Italy. So far, both days have been very, very high, which in terms of fatalities, which lead us to believe that we still haven't seen the peak in Italy and in Spain. So fatalities continue to rise. We had close to 1,000 dead people from coronavirus on Saturday alone in Italy. So that is very, very scary, and hopefully that will be enough for you to pay attention to this and follow the directions that are being recommended by the CDC, by the World Health Organization, and just stay at home and let's try to flatten the curve. What happened here in Italy, if you don't recall, is that about 3 weeks ago, we started hearing of some of these cases, or people started hearing about some of these cases happening, and they did not follow the directions. They still were going outside. They thought it's not going to affect me. They thought, well, I'm healthy, I'm young. The likelihood of me developing a serious disease is very low, all of which are true. Problem was that by everybody going out and continuing to mind their own business, we just kept infecting everyone else. And then a lot of people who are susceptible, whether because they're elderly, they're immunocompromised, they've got cancers, heart disease, obesity, any of these conditions that are chronically affecting a lot of us, those are the people who ended up needing hospitalization. And the problem again is that everyone needed hospitalization at roughly the same time. So our hospitals, our healthcare systems, or the healthcare systems over there started getting overwhelmed. Sadly and unfortunately, that also seems to be happening here in Spain. As a matter of fact, the president, the prime minister came out on Sunday, and he announced that the quarantine has been, or the state of emergency will be extended another 2 weeks. So far, we've been in a state of emergency for 1 week, since last Saturday, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday prior. And we thought that we were halfway through. And yesterday they told us that, well, guess what? We're only a quarter of the way through because it has just been extended until April 11th. And the reason is exactly that. We continue seeing serious cases rising. We continue seeing more people diagnosed. We continue seeing more people getting complications. Hopefully this will not happen stateside and in Latin America, but unfortunately it looks like it will. As a matter of fact, from what I saw this morning, both in the news and some videos, it seems that the U.S. government is taking some important steps, even involving the military, to try to enforce this. And let's see where that goes. Now, what can we do on our end here? If you're not a healthcare professional who's working on the front lines and you're able to stay at home for as long as possible. Just go outside for the very essential necessities and stay indoors. Try to do your life there as much as possible. That way you will avoid getting the disease, and if you have it, you will avoid spreading it to other people. Let's just be very clear as to what I mentioned. The likelihood of you, particularly you listening to me right now, developing a serious life-threatening disease from COVID infection is very, very low. However, you need to be aware that despite the fact of you being very unlikely to develop a serious disease, you're still just as likely to spread it and to infect other people who are susceptible to serious disease. And if we all do that, what's going to happen is that our healthcare system is going to be overwhelmed. And then I was just having that conversation with my wife during lunch today, and I was telling her, I said, listen, let's just control the controllables. Let's do what we can do. Let's stay home. And she said, very rightly so, now that I think back, she said, you know what? I worry for my family because some idiot's going outside and he's still spreading the disease, and my grandma could get it, my mom could get it, my dad could get it. And even if they don't get it, they also are susceptible to other conditions such as stroke. Her dad had a stroke a couple of years ago. Her mom had a heart condition a couple of years ago. They both required emergency hospitalization. And if that happens right now, and with the healthcare system being overwhelmed, they won't be able to get the care that they require. So keep that in mind next time you decide to go outside because you feel okay, because you're healthy, because even if you get it, nothing bad's going to happen. You might spread it to somebody who does develop a serious disease, and if we overwhelm our healthcare system, the people who might need it, which might be your relatives, not because of COVID, but because they're just alive and they're just living their lives, they might have an accident, they might have an unexpected serious disease, there won't be enough healthcare workers and hospital beds for them. So I hope we've been drilling that home. It does get a little bit tedious. So if you have any specific questions, do send them our way. You can comment below. You can just send them directly to me. But let me just also go on the positive. What can we do? If you're able to stay at home, what are my recommendations for you who can't stay at home in order to try to make the best out of this? If you're not a healthcare worker, there's nothing you can do about the situation. You're an accountant, you're a financial advisor, you are a business owner, anything along those lines that you say, well, there's nothing I can do about it. Well, here's what you can do. Number one, stay at home. But number two, try to go to work. Get up, take a shower, get ready, dress up like you were going to work. If you're going to get on a video conference, don't do it in your t-shirt and your pajama bottoms. Not just because you can doesn't mean that you should, right? Mentally, doing that will get you kind of in the flow. And I know it's really hard. We're living really strange and unexpected times. None of us were prepared for this. So let's just try to make the best out of it. Let's accept that this is going to be our new normal for the next couple of weeks, okay? So let's try to make the best out of this. If there's another thing that I can recommend, I'm very big on mindfulness. You know that. I've been commenting on that. If you follow the podcast, you'll hear me more than once. My favorite app, or my favorite way, if you've never actually meditated, there's no better time to learn how to do this and to get started than right now. You have the time, you have the skills. If you want to buy, the way that I learned is with a device called Muse, and you can get a discount, 15% off if you go to dre.show/Muse. For those of you watching here on Facebook, I think I can pull it up. Let me just, there you go. So just use that link and get 15% off. Just FYI, that is a link that I might get a commission from you, but you're going to get 15% off that. And that's a great device. You put it in your head. I actually interviewed the founder of this company. Her name is Ariel, if you want to look it up on the podcast. And it senses your brainwave, your activity, and helps you train your mind. Shows you how to train your mind to stay calm, to stay not as spiky and controlled and mindful. So it's very nice. It's a great way to start. If you don't want to order the device, you cannot order the device. There are several apps. Personally, I like Headspace. I have no involvement with them, no financial interest either. They are actually offering a couple of their programs for free. You normally have to pay a membership, which is not very expensive. It's like $100 a year. But they're offering right now for the next 2 months, they're offering a lot of their programs for free. So just download the app, create an account, and use it and learn. And it's going to help you quite a lot. Try to realize and understand and accept and acknowledge, like I said at the beginning, this is going to be your new normal for the next couple of weeks. So let's just accept that and let's try to make the best out of it. That's it for today. If you have questions, whether they're clinical or practical, send them our way. I'll be happy to address those. And let's just get through this together. All right? Hope you're great.